Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I've had a few people ask me things about what do I recommend in a home gym, where did I get my equipment, and I need to tell you guys up front with that, if you don't live in England, you can't get my training equipment where I got it. So for anyone else in the world, the shipping on it would be insane for you to buy the equipment I have and get it shipped to you. So for those people who live in England or anywhere in the UK, I got everything in my gym that I train at the Strength Shop here in the UK and at Powerhouse. Those are the two websites I got everything off of. For most people, what I would look at, what do you need for the very basics? Now for a female, you can drop the weights way down because most women are never going to need more than 140, 150 kilos, which is 300, 325 pounds, somewhere in that range. They're never going to need more than that, or at least for many years. For males, they're going to need a lot more eventually. But what you want is a basic power rack. Now when you go to look at pricing on these, you're going to notice the price difference between a rack that will safely hold 400 pounds versus 800 pounds is usually only 10 to 15%. And the 400 pounds sounds like a lot, but I can tell you if you're lifting hard for 2 years and you're a healthy male, you're going to be squatting over 400 pounds. So you've not made a lifetime investment if you buy that cheaper rack. And sometimes it is literally only $50 or $70 difference between the two. And to put that into metric for people, we're talking about a rack that can hold 180 kilos versus one that can hold 360 kilos. The price difference is generally less than 20% between the two for any given manufacturer. So spend the extra money on the stronger rack. Now as far as other stuff you need, you don't need that much to get started. Most people for their goals won't need anything more than a bench and a barbell and plates. So those should be your first purchases, and if you don't have the extra money for a decent bench yet, wait on the bench. You can do floor presses and replicate everything for the bench press. So you don't have to have a bench, even up front. You just need the rack and the bar. Now what I would also recommend is that you can oftentimes get combo bar and weight sets, cheaper per pound or kilo than if you buy everything individual, but oftentimes they're limited weight and oftentimes the bars suck. What I would look at is if you see those chrome colored bars, honestly, if you're only going to own one bar in your gym, I would not get that type of bar. You want the black 28 millimeter thick ones that are a little more whippy than that more rigid 32 millimeter bar, which is always chrome colored. So get the black bar. Now, if you're going to have multiple bars, you can get both, but if you're only going to have one bar, get the black bar. Trust me on this one because it's going to make your deadlifting and rowing and things a lot easier, whereas you can bench and squat and all those type of movements with either type of bar pretty much the same. So I'm going to recommend that on the bar. Now you're going to want a minimum of 140 kilo or 300 pounds set to start out, and you're always going to want to add an additional set of smaller plates for microloading and for if you get dumbbells later, because you can always add in a cheap set of Olympic dumbbell handles to hold all those smaller plates. So you want to stock up on smaller plates, and oftentimes you can find packages and deals on those to where you can get 8 or 10 2.5 kilo plates all as a package for a pretty small price. So do that, and then you're obviously going to want at least 2 more 45 pound plates or 20 kilo plates to add to the set to get you started. And for most people, that will be enough to make it through your first couple of years until you get strong on the deadlift, in which case you just buy more big plates. And that's also at which point you probably want to buy some bumper plates to protect your floor at home. But realistically, for most people, you can set up a really good home gym with what I just described for less than $1,000. If you shop around a bit, you might be able to even get started for $500 or $600 if you can find a good rack at a good price and a good deal on some plates. But once you start adding benches in, extra plates, dumbbell handles, the stuff can add up. And the same thing, you don't necessarily need cables. Cables are overrated for most stuff. Get a cheap set of powerlifting bands to do some cable type movements. So you can keep it pretty simple, keep it within a decent budget, and still build a home gym that will carry you a very long way, possibly far enough to even compete in something. So I hope that clarified my stance on how to set up a home gym and what you actually need to make it happen and get it done efficiently. But that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you next time.